The mysterious right eye of Shibai Otsutsuki could be the Jougan, and he could have granted this power himself to Boruto in the future. But the question arises, at what cost? The new flashforward scene could be a foreshadowing of Boruto's second death, as we can clearly see a bloodstain on Kawaki's face. So does Boruto actually need to die in order to obtain the pure eye? Find out the answer by the end of this video, along with a lot more interesting stuff. Chapter 75 was definitely a game changer for the Boruto manga, not only because of the reveals of past, but also due to the flash forward scene, which has brought all the hype back into the series. I believe there is some analogy going on between the introduction of Shibai Otsutsuki and the dark fate of Boruto, which could lead to the Jougan's awakening. In my opinion, the glimpse of future is the aftermath of the twist of fate that Boruto has been warned about by Momoshiki. But before explaining how I came to this conclusion, let me explain why I think there is an analogy of events going on with the enormous reveals of this chapter. The simple answer is, I have noticed a similar pattern in Boruto chapter 72. So here is a quick explanation. The three major events of chapter 72 comprised of Momoshiki's reminder and true purpose, Himawari's desire to become a shinobi, and the reveal of Cold's Tentail's army. I had predicted in my previous videos that how all of this could be linked, and Cold attacking the Leaf Village to murder the sister of Boruto is what's gonna drive him self-destructive. Momoshiki shall take over soon after Boruto becomes lifeless, fulfilling the foreshadowings of this chapter. Coming back to chapter 75, if we try to decode it in a similar manner, here is what could have happened. The most anticipated reveal of the show, which is the Jougan, needs to make an appearance before the time skip. The only time we saw it in the manga was when the Otsutsuki God panel was revealed to us, but this depiction was nothing less than a portrayal of this stature, and it was not until chapter 75 when the actual Otsutsuki God was introduced. His name is Shibai Otsutsuki, and by the process of karmic resurrection, he was able to achieve godhood after devouring thousands of planets over a millennia. What we know for sure is that the right eye of this celestial being is definitely the Jougan, since it was shown in the Otsutsuki God panel earlier. The introduction of a new set of abilities called Shinjutsu also changed the entire power dynamic of Narutoverse. The roots of everything we have seen in the story of Naruto so far is now being revealed in Boruto. Now that we know the powers that directly come from these celestial beings are known as Shinjutsu, we can conclude that this special eye of Boruto is also a Shinjutsu. So how does Boruto unlock this pure power? Well, if we go by the logic that I applied to chapter 72, the Otsutsuki God must have some ties with the fate of Boruto, specifically with the glimpse of future that Boruto was able to see due to his Otsutsuki prowess. So you guys must be familiar with the scenario that Boruto witnessed in chapter 75. Somebody is trying to escape from the village, and the Konoha Jonins are trying their best to catch him. Team 10 is facing off this person in this scene. Later Sarada finds him, and Mitsuki with his Sage mode is really outrageous at this person. We then get to see a glimpse of Kawaki, who has a bloodstain on his face, which divides the fandom into two groups. Let's say it was Boruto who was trying to escape because of two major reasons. The second one will provide us an explanation for how the scar, Momoshiki's predictions, the Jougan, and Shibai Otsutsuki are related to each other. The first hint which makes me believe it's Boruto trying to escape the village in this sequence is the possibility that this scenario is being seen from Boruto's viewpoint. Take a look at the background of this panel where Boruto's Byakugan is not active, and then compare them to this panel where he is in the middle of the glimpse of future. It's just a minor detail but could turn out to be a major clue. The background of this panel is the same as the scenery that's shown in the glimpse of future, which makes it clear that Boruto is actually present in the scene, witnessing all of this mishap. Also, Shigarai's saying he doesn't act as a friend anymore makes it even more sensible, since he never had any one-on-one interaction with Kawaki, so technically speaking, they both are not even friends. Now the only confusing thing which remains is what has Boruto truly done that made Mitsuki angry, and why there is a bloodstain on Kawaki's face. This brings us to the second reason explaining what really happened to Boruto, that this stroke of bad luck took place. So let's start off with why Boruto wants to go rogue, followed by the scar, the revival, and the return of Shibai through the Jougan. The possible foreshadowing of chapter 72 could be the reason behind Boruto's setback that will make him lose hope in the future. As we know, the plans of Momoshiki are to take over Boruto, but he won't be able to do so until and unless the vessel himself wishes to die and loses the will to live. This event could be the time when Boruto, in possession of Momoshiki, will try to escape the village for some secret purpose. What made Mitsuki angry is the fact that his most most precious person is being taken away by a monster who has already brought a lot of mishap to his life. The sun versus moon fight shall be a true spectacle to witness. But before getting into the Kawaki part and the reason Boruto's scar didn't heal, let's figure out how Boruto will lose hope in the future. I don't think this flash forward scene is the moment that Momoshiki is warning Boruto about. I believe it's just an aftermath of that event, which is even more messed up. A point that no one seems to talk about is that Otsutsukis are able to erase their chakra signature. So why didn't Boruto or Borushiki erase it while trying to escape from the village? Well, my theory is that Momoshiki took over Boruto instantly after he witnessed the darkest event of his life, and he must be around his friends and everyone at that moment, which made it easy for them to follow him. The dark event could be destroying Boruto mentally by killing his sister or somebody close to him. After taking over Boruto, Momoshiki would hurry up to go rogue, as it just doesn't make sense why he would still be in Konoha. But when Boruto's comrades would realize that the monster has again taken him over, they will not leave a stone unturned to bring him to his knees. This brings us to the Kawaki part. If everything goes as I predicted, Kawaki could be the one to hit Boruto in his right eye in an attempt to stop Momoshiki's possession. But the question arises, why doesn't the scar heal with the karma? Well, if we look back at the Ishiki fight, Boruto broke Momoshiki's horn and it didn't grow back when he reappeared against Code. It seems like when Boruto is under Momoshiki's control, he's vulnerable to wounds and scars, explaining why the scar didn't heal with the karma later. In the worst case scenario, after cutting down Boruto's eye, Kawaki could even end up killing him so that the danger of Momoshiki is completely eliminated. This is where the Jougan and Shibai's part comes into play. As said by Amado, the Otsutsuki god is no longer present in this realm, and Momoshiki also confirmed that his existence is untraceable in this universe anymore. The only world in the Narutoverse that we know beyond the current universe is Pure Land, which is the afterlife. Now, saying Shibai Otsutsuki died won't settle the case here, so it's better to assume that he deliberately left his consciousness to enter the Pure Land. And the thing which links Boruto to Shibai is, you guessed it right, the Jougan. There must be a reason for the writers to have the Pure Eye sound too similar to the Pure Land, and since Boruto might end up facing death for the second time, that too as an Otsutsuki, the Pure Land could be the place where he will finally meet the original wielder of the Pure Eye, who might even grant Boruto a new life after entrusting a purpose to him. The purpose that Tsuneria has already told Boruto long ago, to dispel the darkness that's about to shower in the world really soon. I also believe this because since Shibai became an Otsutsuki god, he must have figured out that the Shinjutsu will be misused in many ways, and since he doesn't want to have more troubles in his life, he ascended to the Pure Land, leaving his mortal body behind. One of the examples of the misuse of Shinjutsu can be seen in the prologue scene, where Kawaki has wreaked havoc with his divine powers, and there is no way Shibai would have wanted things to end up like this. That's why he chose Boruto and made him aware of his heroic duty through Toneri. This would even separate Boruto from Momoshiki, whose soul shall cease to exist once Boruto comes back from Pure Land. The Jougan would help him to stop the Shinjutsu from falling into wrong hands, which could be the true purpose of his life till the end of the series. But there is another question which makes everyone scratch their heads. If Momoshiki has already seen Boruto using the Jougan in the anime, why did he remain quiet about it? That's the topic of my next video, so subscribe to not miss it. Also check out this video for even more mind-blowing theories. I will see you next time.